Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Endless Multiverse, episode 2, with, of course, Chainsaw Reacts and Andy. We are here, everybody. Welcome. Hello, Andy. Hello.
Hello, Jordan.
We're here, the second episode of our show. Exciting.
Episode 2, yeah. About to
Episode
get
2.
crazy.
I hope it gets crazy. We'll see.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
we definitely learned some stuff from episode 1. We want to thank everybody for supporting the first episode, for being here live, for supporting the video after the fact when it went up. And yeah, so we're here. And once again, we're going to go through some predetermined topics. We have a variety of topics to talk about today, including Gotham Knights being greenlit for a pilot, Lord of the Rings dropping a bunch of posters for its new show, and a big thing about the Book of Boba Fett. Some big stuff happened in that. But we have a lot of things to cover, and of course, Flash Season 8 in terms of Eddie Thawne. So we'll get to all that. We have a lot of things to cover. We thank you guys so much for supporting. If you guys would like to support the show and send in super chats, of course, we would greatly appreciate that for supporting the show. If you super chat during a topic that is actually about the topic we're discussing, we will pull it up and answer it and talk about it. If not, save it for the live Q&A because we will get to that towards the end of the show. So our first topic, or kind of like catch up, is what we did this week pretty much.
What did you do this week, Jordan? What did you do?
Besides working full-time, YouTube, not too much. Been getting more involved with writing in terms of writing for Mama's Geeky and making some connections through screeners for Netflix and trying to cover stuff and branching out in that aspect. But other than that, I mean, I've just been, doing what I normally do. I actually finished The Spectacular Spider-Man today. I filmed my final reaction to that show, and it's really emotional. I was not prepared for that ending. It was so much. And I'm still trying to process the fact that it's over. But what have you been up to, sir? What have you been up to?
This week, I had my aunt. She came into town last week to surprise my mom for her birthday. So we spent a lot of time together throughout the week, and and I hadn't seen her in a few years. So and we were definitely safe. Everyone, don't worry. So and then I've been just doing a lot of screenwriting writing. There was a lot of things to talk about this week, and I'm not gonna get too much into it, but I had some interesting meetings with some industry people. So I feel like my throat is a little, like, you may notice it later, like my throat is a little tired.
Okay.
There's been a lot of calls, a lot of not Zoom calls, but it's been like just video calls and so on. So yeah, it's I think we have an interesting spring and summer, so that's all I would say.
Awesome. I'm excited to see what this is, what you're talking about.
I mean, I'm not spilling any tea.
Oh, no, don't spill tea. No.
I will ever take a little sip of my iced tea. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I had to get some water.
Yeah, I mean, listen, podcasters and content creators, we always have to be drinking, it's because we're always talking
about alcohol. We gotta be sober for this. Come on.
Yeah, but I hope everyone else had a great week. We're in the first week of February now, so which is the shortest month.
Been rainy. It's been rainy the last couple of days. Been cold. Ready for it to go away.
Me too. Yeah, it's been like I'm like where I live. Like there's always like snow coming, and then it melts, and then it's raining, and then like there's a big snowstorm next week, and then so I'm just like, can you all just be consistent?
Exactly.
I hate winter. Like me, like I'm the Grinch of weather season. When like I will complain about anything. I will say winter is garbage because there's more, like traffic accidents. It's slippery. It's cold. People get sick often. During the spring, I'm like, it's not hot enough. Then there's summer, I'm like, oh my god, it's so hot. I cannot believe this. Then the fall, I'm like, I wish it could just be a summer for a little bit longer. And then when the winter comes, I'm like,
really?
Then we, rewind.
Yeah, rewind back to the good times.
But we had a great first up. I went back to watch I watched our first episode a few times. Not that I have like an ego thing, but I just love hearing myself talk. But like no, I just there was just so much support and love in the chat, everyone. So so we're looking for this could be fun doing this pretty much every week, and luckily this week we didn't bombard our Google Docs, so that's a good thing.
No,
but
we definitely learned. We had a lot of stuff to cover because for our first show we wanted to try to catch up on some stuff, but now we're fully like trying to cover weekly topics.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Topics time.
Topics time. Let's get into it.
Okay, so first of all, everyone may remember that Rick Cosnett, who plays Eddie Fawn on The Flash, we know that he's had already been announced to come back for one episode. It's gonna be the first episode back on Wednesday, March 9th, called Impulsive Excessive Disorder.
I love that
But
title.
I mean, like,
Great title.
it's a beautiful title, but it now turns out that Rick Cosnett is going to be in more episodes for season 8. Deadline broke the story earlier this week that Cosnett is set to recur in a multi-episode arc that has been teased to reintroduce his character in an unconventional way. And so far, for at least 3 episodes, he's going to be there, and he will also reportedly embody other characters, but showrunner Eric Wallace wouldn't speak to that, because I think he's trying to keep some surprise under wrap. Trust me, like, listen, like, he never heard that even he won't like break things to me in some way. Like it will be riddles. Like he's like my real life Riddler. So Eric said the following in the statement: Rick has been such a fantastic part of our Flash family since season 1, and we've been looking for ways to bring him back to the show ever since. Fortunately, we've been able to do so now in season 8, and Rick has been fantastic in bringing in exciting new side to his portrayal of Eddie Fawn that honors the character's past, but takes it somewhere unexpected. End of quote. So, and listen, I know I'm realizing that I'm being a total dick that I even put these 2 characters in question marks.
No, you're not a dick. No.
But Jordan,
Mhm.
what do you think is going on here? Like, what's going on with Rick?
Look, I want to believe that they're finally giving us what a lot of us have been asking in terms of being Cobalt Blue. I don't think that's the case. I don't think we're actually going to get that. I feel like that is just a fan dream that has been conjured up and been around for so long. I just feel like it's not going to happen. But I won't be surprised if Eric does it because everyone's been talking about it for years. Now, question, with the 3 episodes that he's confirmed to continue, is this 3 additional episodes, or is this including the episode he's appearing in the next one? Like, so is it 2 episodes plus the one he's already confirmed to appear in, or is this 3 additional for the season? Do we know?
It wasn't made clear very much.
Okay.
But if I had to wait, I will let you finish your thought, and I will get on to my
predictions. I just think at the end of the day, it's going to be interesting to see him return because it's been so long. And when he has returned, it's been guest spot here. It's like, and it's not really been a lot. But ultimately, I like the fact of bringing him back. I like the actor. I was quite shocked when they killed him off in season 1. So I'm excited to see what they do. And no matter what it is, I'll definitely be looking forward to it because, there has to be a really good reason to bring him back. And I'm assuming it's a multiverse angle, unless I'm wrong. I don't know.
Well, remember, he did say that the Deadline is saying that they're hearing, which means they usually, they've been pretty good with their sources and whatever, that he will embody other characters. So I think that could it be that he's going to have, I don't know, some spirits in him? Like, I don't know. It sounds like it was, because I remember at the beginning of season 8, there was a lot of talk, and at the end of season 7, there's a lot of talks with Eric and other interviews that they were going to look at to do some more horror and supernatural stuff.
Yeah.
So because for people who may not know, before Eric did The Flash, he was also a writer and an EP on Teen Wolf on MTV, and that show was like all sorts of supernatural monsters and magic and so on. So I think he's a huge fan of the horror genre. So this is very familiar territory for him. So I think that whatever they're gonna do, like if this is gonna have Rick playing someone, playing characters of that we've seen in the past, so on, I think they will know how to do it. But the only reason I threw in Red Death and Cobalt Blue, because I think people would always predict that and so on. But again, because the thing that Deadline also made a point of is that if season 9 goes forward, which at this point I think we're all set for that, there is an option for him to come back next season. So I think however it ends,
it's involving him.
Yeah. It's involved. Yeah. However his, let's say if it's 3 episodes, because again, they made a point of saying in at least 3 episodes, which means that it could be for more. But however it ends will give us an idea of where we're going to be at next season.
I agree. Well, I'm excited to see what they do with Eddie. I'm excited. Mm-hmm. Let's dive into topic number 2, which we're switching over now to Marvel. Something I'm quite surprised with because I didn't think this was actually happening, like in terms of this movie, but it has been announced that Dakota Johnson is cast as Madam Web for a Sony Marvel film. Now, the thing is this is a Sony film, not as far as we know, a Sony MCU collaborative like Tom Holland's Spider-Man. This is sounding like to be a Sony solo film. It says Sony has found its Madam Web as Dakota Johnson is in final talks to star in the upcoming Marvel film set in their Spider-Verse, Venom, Craven, Morbius, etc. And it goes on to say about it's unclear which Madam Web this could be, whether it be Julia Carpenter or the traditional version. Deadline notes that their sources are saying that this project could potentially turn into something else. With that phrasing in terms of it could turn into something else, I think this could be referring to that this is actually not Madam Web. That I think Dakota Johnson is actually playing Jessica Drew, aka Spider-Woman. Unless they go the route of kind of merging the idea I'm having in terms of, because why would Deadline say this project could potentially turn into something else? Like, it's such weird wording coming from a major source like Deadline. So I wouldn't be surprised if she's playing Spider-Woman and then it's revealed that her version within the Spider-Verse becomes Madam Web down the road in the timeline. Like, she's actually going to become Madam Web, even though I know in the comics traditionally Madam Web is a very different character. She's not the same as Jessica Drew, Spider-Woman.
I'll put up the image again so people.
Yeah. So I think with this, she could become in the top left Madam Web, but I think that she could actually be Jessica Drew's Spider-Woman or a version of that character. And down the road in the timeline, she becomes Madam Web through some crazy stuff. The Spider-Verse is ever expanding, of course. Of course, we have the amazing animated Spider-Verse film with Miles as the star. We're getting, of course, a 2-parter sequel. So with them expanding their live action stuff with Madam Web, potentially Dakota Johnson as Madam Web, I feel like it's probably going to add more to the multiverse or the Spider-Verse of it all, because I feel like if she actually is Madam Web or a version, it's going to start connecting all of the different worlds: Morbius, Craven, Venom, Andrew Spidey, Toby, because they've already had, of course, all 3 Spideys in No Way Home. So now they can find a way to probably merge the other properties that they have, because Aaron Taylor Johnson is Craven. You don't cast these characters and do their own solo films just for it to stay separate. I mean, they had Venom in No Way Home, but it really wasn't connected because he didn't actually interact with anybody in terms of importance. So I feel like they're going to use potentially Dakota Johnson, if it's truly Madam Web, to connect. What do you think about this? Do you think she's Madam Web, or do you think it's a fake out?
I don't think it's a fake out, because I think that because Spider-Woman, I'm trying to remember, because I know Spider-Woman, it's this when it comes to character rights, it is the worst, because you never know where something is.
Yeah.
And I think this is supposed to be Madam Web, some sort of multiverse figure, and that will kind of connect some of these properties together. And I think that it could, because I had never heard of Julia Carpenter before. I think one of my friends had mentioned her a couple years ago, but like it was a long time ago, that she's also Madam Web. So I went to look at like what her powers were like and what can she actually do. And there's definitely some like kind of like multiversal angle they can play with her. And it's also possible that this is Cassandra Webb, and that it's a young Cassandra Webb, and that maybe we see in a flash forward, like we're getting the story of Madam Web through the older one, as because she kind of flashes back to her life, and so that's what we could see. I could see it be your idea too, that it is some sort of like combination, and because we know some of these studios, they love to do that. Something is also a little bit easy because some of the comic book histories from these characters are very convoluted. I mean, don't even like, even Connor Leslie from Titans referenced right away in her first interview, like, yeah, so Donna Troy has like a very convoluted history, a lot of versions of her, and so yeah, I think that I think if this is called Madam Web, I think this is what they're sticking to. I think more so that what they're referring to, what Deadline is referring to, based on what they're hearing from their sources, that story-wise it could turn to something else. So because like this was if like maybe 2 years ago, I don't remember when I talked to someone about Madam Web, but it was something that they really want to make a big deal out of her, which and again, I think Dakota Johnson, she's a phenomenal actress, also amazing slayer of Ellens. She's Dakota Johnson, the Ellen Slayer.
Yeah.
And so I think she will be great in this part. And we will see what happens. Yeah, because when you hear Madam Web, the first thing I always think of is the one that we saw in the animated series, and it's a very fascinating character design.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh
I've always loved that. But I'm excited. I think we definitely need some more female heroes on screen, definitely. So I look forward to see where this will go. And I think like hopefully things will start rolling out sooner rather than later, because they have a script, they have a director, and now they have the leads, and now they're just probably gonna start casting their parts and then go from there.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with it, because it could open the floodgates to a lot of Spider-Verse content if she truly is Madam Web. And the idea of you saying flashing back to when she was younger, that actually makes more sense if they were to pull that off, because when you think Madam Web, you think they're going to cast an older actor for that. But I think, but maybe the idea is her flashing back to what got her in the chair, and so we can see how that unfolds. So that actually is a good point.
And well, move forward to Jordan's favorite show. I'm gonna
show. A favorite show.
Yeah. So we are in pilot season right now, guys. Which means that we're gonna hear a lot of networks announce what they're picking up for giving a pilot order. Series pickup happens later, so don't jump ahead. But Gotham Knights, ladies and gentlemen, has gotten a pilot order as of this week by the CW. It was one of the shows from the CW to get a pilot order this week. They are doing also a Walker prequel. They're doing the Supernatural prequel. Like Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki will always stay employed with the CW, so don't worry. And the only new details from the previously announced synopsis and producers team is that Gotham's Danny Canadan, who is one of the sweetest guys I ever interviewed, he is an amazing director. He's going to direct and executive produce the pilot. And for everyone going to have, what about Justice You? Y'all, we don't have any idea. So let's just get it out of the way right now. But to remind everyone what the show is about, if you have missed the announcement, but it's not related to, it's not a Batwoman spinoff, even though it has Batwoman writers and producers attached to it, and it's not based on the video game. In the wake of Bruce Wayne's murder, his rebellious adopted son forges an unlikely alliance with the children of Batman's enemies, where they're all framed for killing the Quake Crusader. And as the city's most wanted criminals, this renegade band of misfits must fight to clear their names. But in a Gotham with no Dark Knight to protect it, the city descends into the most dangerous it's ever been. However, hope comes with the most unexpected of places, as this team of mismatched fugitives will become its next generation of saviors, known as the Gotham Knights. Jordan, do you want me to start so that you can like prepare yourself, or do you want to get it out now? Whatever you need, buddy.
I'll do this. Okay.
Wait. We gotta set the stage. The floor is yours.
This is the worst idea I've ever heard for a Bat-related show. This is the worst idea for a Bat show, a Batman-related-esque show ever. Okay. It's the worst. Guys, it's the worst. You're telling me that, number one, it's not even Damian Wayne. It is the adopted son of Bruce Wayne. He meets up with some kids who happen to be the kids of the villains that Batman has faced, and they're going to be framed for Bruce Wayne's murder. So literally, you're going to hire a stand-in to die, and they're going to blame the kids of the villains and Bruce Wayne's adopted son for the death of Batman. So wait, we already have Batwoman, where Batman is just MIA. We have no idea where he is. And then we're going to have another show where we are confirming he's dead immediately. This is insane. This is insane. I'm just shocked that this is actually going to pilot. When I heard about it, made a video with my wife, and I jokingly said, "Are you writing this show?" And she's like, "I can't answer that question." She would not get near this stuff. Like, she's not even a big fan of DC stuff. Like, this is horrible. But here's what I've also said in my most recent video when this pilot was announced. I made a small video and I said this: I will check out the pilot if it gets a serious pickup. I will check out the pilot. I'll check out the marketing. But I'm telling you right now, this is going to be a disaster. I won't be surprised if it doesn't continue. past pilot. I will not be surprised.
Now tell us how you really feel.
I love the idea. Can't wait. 10 out of 10. I hope that this show deserves at least 10 seasons. Go. Make it now. Here's the thing too. Since we're getting a pilot order, we're going to hear what characters are going to be in this show. So instead of us speculating, we're actually going to know who's in it in terms of characters. Because if you're going to say, here are the kids of the villains, okay, so what villains are you pulling from? Who are you actually going to have in the show?
And who actually has kids? I mean, I know there's the Riddler's daughter.
Yeah, Riddler's daughter. Joker has a daughter. I bet what they're going to do, they're going to
both are on Batwoman, by the way.
Yeah. So what they're going to do, they're going to create new characters that are the kids of villains that traditionally probably don't have kids. I know you don't like this idea either, but I would let's hear your thoughts about Gotham Knights.
I mean, here's what I will say. We don't read. I mean, know what's going to get, because someone was making a case to me like, well, it could be Damien, but an altered Damien for whatever reason, or maybe he thinks he was adopted and he found out he was, because again, sometimes they don't reveal everything. Yeah, because remember in the Batman Sonata, they never revealed that Alice was, Beth's sister, Kate's sister, because they didn't want to spoil it for people who are fans, who don't read the comics. So it's, anything is possible what they could do. Like, I think it's gonna be a combination of they're gonna create their own villains, and and then also, but again, I think if you were, this is what makes me so confused. We had Joker's daughter on Batwoman. They killed the Riddler's daughter, but you could always have a twist that he has another daughter, whatever. Maybe he got around back in the day. But I don't know why I said that. Now I have this horrible image of the Batman's Riddler going and getting, small little Riddler kids with, you're part of this too. How am I part of this? You will see, that Zodiac mask is, ugh. Moving on. And I think it's disappointing that with the pilots that we had, we had Green and the Canaries, we had Painkiller, which I don't know how many of your audience members, Jordan, have seen it, but I really enjoyed the Painkiller Backdoor pilot. We could have had Wonder Girl, and they didn't move forward. Because the thing for me, what was so perplexing to me about this is that, okay, we already have Batwoman, which is doing a great work. Again, season 3 is my favorite season of Batwoman. They're doing so much cool things with the Batman mythology and also doing their own spin on that. But I feel it's kind of disrespectful to do then another Gotham show that is almost the same thing, where it's just someone else playing Gotham instead of Bruce. And also, I feel that Batwoman is essentially doing Gotham Knights. Batwing, Mary, Sophie, they have Renee Montoya. Maybe she will become the Question one day, whatever. So I feel they had a good thing going. And I'm like, the thing that I always love with Arrowverse is that every show we got was always something different. Flash wasn't the same as Arrow. Supergirl wasn't the same as the Flash. Legends is nothing like any of these shows. Black Lightning was also unique. Stargirl and Batwoman, despite its slip and fall. But now I feel like we're just getting a little bit much of the same. And also Naomi was something fresh and unique. So now, with this, I'm like, this feels very unnecessary, especially because I feel that we're good to go for a Batwoman season 4 at this point. So it's not like they're canceling Batwoman and just giving us it. And also, this is very counterproductive. I wrote this in my news piece for Squeaking Around about that it's counterproductive to do this, to have it set on another Earth, because this has to be another Earth if Bruce is already dead.
It has to be.
What was the point of bringing all these shows together and then start doing other, one show on this or one show on that or so on, whatnot? So, because I understand that they want to have freedom to do whatever they want, kind of do, and so, but at the same time, you can still do a show in the same Earth, but you don't have to worry about the other shows. So again, I feel that this is, I don't have a lot of excitement for it. Again, we could, in a year from now, we could be shocked. We could be sitting being like, what an excellent idea this was. How interesting this was.
That's going to be the biggest turnaround ever if we actually go.
Yeah, exactly. So, out there is even though Justice You sounds odd to me, I would have rather seen this go forward. Justice You go forward than Gotham Knight. But again, we will see what happens. I guess we just have to be patient and We will. I mean, I know my buddy David Rappaport. He is just starting casting, and he's very good at finding talent. So we will see what comes from it. So,
all right. Well, with that, we actually have some news for another show that is not as controversial, Gotham Knights, but definitely is controversial. Titan season 4, everybody. Titan season 4 finds their villains. Now, for a while, we have been hearing that the rumors were going around for a while that Brother Blood was going to be involved in Titan season 4. Because let's be honest, guys, when they did Titan season 3, I love the fact we had Barbara Gordon. I love the fact that we were actually in Gotham, but then it became very apparent that we're just double tripling down on the fact that this is a Batman sidekick show and not so much a Titan show at this point. So now with them bringing on Joseph Morgan as Brother Blood, which fantastic actor, really like him, of course, in the originals. He was great as playing a villain, kind of not villain, but anyways, it's great to see him returning to a series playing, especially with this villain. I'm really excited to see how he portrays it. Franca Potente, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Franca Potente as Mother Mayhem, and Lisa Ambalavanar, I'm really bad with names, as Jinx. So we have a good variety of things. And now here's the thing. Joseph Morgan as Brother Blood is going to be a series regular, and Mother Mayhem is going to be a series regular. Jinx is a recurring guest. So do not expect Jinx to have a huge role in Titan season 4, but expect Mother Mayhem and Brother Blood to take the main focus, which I think is going to be very interesting because it's going to be a very different, I'm hoping it's going to be a very different season than what we've seen so far in terms of Titans, because so far Titans has tried to do something different, but let's be honest, it ends up being kind of the same each season. They try to switch it up with new characters, but ultimately the show just, it's not hitting the expectations that we have set for it, because this show should be better than it actually is. I'm trying to hold out hope for this show. I really want to love Titans, and I at times do. But I think with this announcement, especially for Brother Blood with Joseph Morgan, I think that's a very smart choice, and I'm excited to see what he brings to the table with this character, because there's a lot of potential they could do with Brother Blood on Titans. Now the question will be, in terms of other characters, is Tara going to show up? I don't know. I think we'll start hearing more about casting. Because I believe Joseph Morgan, you were telling me when this announcement, Joseph Morgan said he was going into prep soon to start shooting. So they're going to start shooting soon. So we should start hearing about more casting, if there is more casting to be made, relatively soon, I would think. But what do you think about the announcement of these 3 characters, and 2 of them being series regulars, and the one being Jinx being a recurring guest, not even a recurring role, but recurring guest?
They actually listened to the people and gave us Teen Titans villains, y'all. Like I'm shook up. Like I texted my Titans podcast group chat. I'm like, y'all, they're doing it, because I agree. Like, here's the thing. There's so much potential for Titans. I've said this since it was first announced 6 years ago, like, or something like that. That Teen Titans is one of the most beloved IPs for DC. It is the perfect group of characters to tell on TV in a TV format. I don't want a Teen Titans movie, because I'd rather spend multiple episodes with these characters that only getting 2 hours, and then if the movie flops, we don't get a sequel, for example. So this, I feel, is way better. And listen, Joseph Morgan is he actually was someone I'd always envisioned as an actor who could play the Joker. Like, he has that smile, but also just from the things I've seen of him as Klaus, I think he could do the sadistic part really, really good. And
that's good fan casting. I haven't really thought about it. Yeah.
And like, I honestly feel like if they ever did the Joker in the Arrowverse, he would be the one, because also he had already worked on the CW, and so I think it's the perfect get, and I think this will be a little more true to the comics compared to what Arrow did in season 2. Again, that's not to slam Arrow, because again, that was a little more grounded back then. And Kevin Alejandro, who's amazing on Lucifer, he was great as Sebastian. But this, I think, they will definitely go more with the Church of Blood angle. And Mother Mayhem is someone that I'm not really that familiar with. I know she has like, I know she's played a big part in, I think, more recent comics,
Mm.
but I'm not sure. But hey, you know what? I'm always here for more female villains, so this will be great. Jinx,
It's okay. Just let it out.
there's some issues with this casting that I want to talk about, but I don't know if I start now, if we will get, if I will just take over the whole show. And I look forward to see what she does. I have never seen it before. I know Jinx is part of the Fearful Five or whatever it's called, and we've had a few members of that team show up already. So maybe that there will be a payoff now this season where we see it. But um, there's problems with this, and I feel that because I don't have that cultural background. I don't know if I'm educated or if I should be the one to say anything about it. But definitely, I would say, guys, go on Twitter. There's again, I know Twitter can be a very scary place. Woo, I know, but go on Twitter. And there's some good discussions going on about why this casting is a little problematic. So go look at
Mhm.
like the hashtag DC Titans and then put in Jinx, and you will see what I'm talking about. Because this, like, again, sure she will do a greater role, but there's definitely problematic aspects to this. Um,
I do want to bring up real quick two comments because I think these are
okay.
good questions involving the show.
Are you going to be
Uh,
in Titan season 4? Is that what you're saying, Jordan?
I think Donna Troy should return in season 4. I'm not sure, but then again, when they once they brought her back, I feel like they might bring her back for season 4. I feel like it's going to be a guest spot. It's not going to be a series regular. I could be
But
wrong.
what have I missed something? Because I've seen people talking a lot about this since the season finale. They never flat out said that she's leaving the show. Like
No, they never did. But since she didn't go with them, it's implying that she might not be appearing in every episode, or she might not be a series regular.
that was not my takeaway. My takeaway was that she's just gonna focus on her own things. Since she just came back from the dead. Where apparently in the afterlife there's trains and cars and shadow creatures and Alan Richard throwing things at people is a thing there. So
Well, that was
but
just something that I think a lot of people are just kind of speculate because people love to speculate, as you know, people love to speculate. So it's just
well,
something there.
if it makes people happy, I have not heard any departures. So as far as I know, she's you're gonna see an
She might be popping in from time to time, like we cut to her side of the story, like what she's doing outside of all this, because they've done that before, where they cut to multiple storylines happening at once. Instead of focusing on one storyline surrounding some characters, they could cut to her and doing whatever. And because I think back on what they did with Raven when she was off, trying to help Donna come back, like they were cutting to her a little bit.
yeah. Well, we know the reason she couldn't come, why we didn't see a lot of Raven last season was because I believe she was stuck in Australia because of the I think when they started shooting, some of the pandemic rules were very, very like
Okay,
so
I think story wise, they were just cut. They would cut away from everything else and just focusing on what she's doing
yeah.
over here. I feel like it worked. So
Question
another
2. What was question 2?
question 2 is this about Jinx. So wondering if they're going to do a new 52 version of Jinx or the Jinx is all in Teen Titans, of course, animated series. I feel like you're probably correct, are in the combination of the two or some sort of combination. I feel like because like with all these shows, they love adaptation. They don't like to pull directly from the comics and to cover exactly as it should. So I feel like with Jinx, they're probably going to, and probably the same thing for all three. They're going to probably do a variation. It's kind of like that version, but there's also some aspects of another version. So I feel like they're probably going to go that route so they can kind of create their own version of Jinx, their own version of Mother Mayhem, their own version
Yeah.
of so it's not really compared. But let's get to the next.
Can I add a? Yes, I was going to add a point to that. Just for people who may not notice in the PR sense, sometimes when like when I get if I get sent like a casting or something, sometimes the department they send like specific comic images that they want us to sometimes use. It can also be very indicative of like what they're kind of pulling from and so on. Not saying that this is going to exactly be like that. Like, because I saw some people thinking that like it's going to be like the one from the cartoon, and like no, that's not. It's like I think the cartoon. I think that's a very exclusive take on her, but I think that it's going to be a little bit of New 52 or maybe so. Like again, like the photos you guys have seen of Jake. I mean, hold on, I have it in front of me right now. Why am I being such a difficult pain in the ass about it? This is the way that she looks there. Like that's kind of the iteration I think they're pulling from.
Yeah.
So
I like the image they've been using for Brother Blood for his. I can't wait to see what he's going to look like.
I mean, if Joseph Morgan's wearing that skull head or whatever it is, then I'm like, that's gonna be
He probably
that's
will. He probably will. He
yeah.
probably demanded it when he signed the contract. I gotta wear this.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't know how many. I think he's one of the few good-looking people that could actually pull it off. Because I mean, listen, let's not. Okay, for anyone who watched originals and whatever, so come on, this is a good-looking man right here. Like, if that boy looked at me and he's like, let me compel you, whatever that is in that universe, I would be like, I am compelled. What shall I do? So.
Okay.
Not Andy making his life painful and miserable for 5 minutes straight. So let's moving on. And this was, something I had a joy covering it, but I also, because I joked with the editor before saying that what if they just release these many and then that's what happened. But the Lord of the Rings, ladies and gentlemen, we have some new glimpses.
You think some?
23 of them, and I had to put a disclaimer. I needed to put in this information on the right, not just for myself to realize what it is that I've actually done this week, but also the fact that just so that people don't think that we're just joking around, being like, we want to make you like really have to squeeze and like look as so. No, these are all the damn posts they released a few days ago, and there's no character names, but I think if you're a big Lord of the Rings fan, you can probably tell which some of these characters are. I don't know much about Lord of the Rings. I've seen the movies. I love them, but I haven't read the books, so I don't really know much about the mythos. So it was fun to see people speculating. But all the poses are here. They're beautiful. It looks like they've spent a lot of money on props and costume. And Jordan, I don't, because I don't think I've ever asked you like how much do you know of the mythos, and like does these posters, what do they tell you? Like, can you tell, like, because obviously the last one is, it's Daddy Sauron. So, listen, he has such a DILF energy that, like, I mean, listen, if he existed today, he would be a total DILF to some people. Like, some people, like, they wouldn't even care what wrongs he had done, but they would be like, "Hi, Daddy." So, what do you think is going on here? Like, can you like make some predictions?
I really don't have a lot of predictions. All I can say is they put out too many posters. It's too much. I'm sorry. I'm excited for this show. I'm not familiar at all with the second age of Lord of the Rings. I've seen, of course, the extended cut of the films. I want to get around to reading the books. I have a copy of Lord of the Rings with all 3 books encompassed into one. It would take me forever to read, but I want to read them because I really enjoyed the films and what was achieved with those. And I'm excited to see what they do here because they put so much money into this series. It's probably going to be the next Game of Thrones in terms of popularity when it releases. But I have to say, this is too many posters. Like, pull up the image again. Just pull it up. Look at how.
You're not even going to say please. I'm kidding.
I'm sorry. I love you, Andy.
I love you too.
23 posters. It's too much. When a TV show releases posters, it's probably 1 or maybe 2.
Or at least 1 a week. Like with Armageddon, they gave us 1 poster a week.
In movie posters, sometimes they drop a couple at once, like the IMAX and this version and this version. But in this case, they dropped 23 in rapid succession. The only reason I even knew about this because somebody was retweeting all of them as they were dropping. It's too many. 23 posters is too much. Now, here's what I'll say. Besides the fact there's too many, it gives a good sense of the huge variety of characters we're going to be introduced to in this show. We're going to see. We see a lot of them have very over-the-top clothing. Some or more kind of like on the, I guess, lower spectrum in terms of money, in terms of where they come from, their living style, whatever the case may be. And it seems like, just based on the posters alone, that we're going to be jumping around to a lot of different areas. I feel like we're not going to have a one centralized character as the lead. I feel like it's going to be more of we're jumping around, and I'm comparing it to Game of Thrones because I feel like that's what it's going to be. We're going to have multiple characters we're following throughout the show in season 1 that we're going to be jumping around focusing on. It's going to play out like that. I don't think there's going to be one centralized character that's the focus. Now, watch me be wrong, but I feel like that's probably the approach they're going to make, because if we have one centralized story following the whole series, or one season, at least for this first season, I understand that approach. But in order to cover the vast amount of area that is the second age of Lord of the Rings, and probably all the things that go into telling that story, it would make sense to cover multiple storylines at once. We're cutting to different people all the time. But yes, besides the fact that it's too many posters, I like the look of a lot of the characters' clothes. I think it looks, and they look vastly different from each other. Each poster looks like a very different type of character. So that's exciting. But yeah,
I haven't watched any Amazon shows. Like, how long are each episode? Like, are they usually like 60 minutes?
roughly. I mean, Invincible, which is the animated show, was about 40-ish minutes per, and I think The Boys, back when I was watching The Boys, was about 50-ish minutes to an hour. So I feel like it would make sense that this show is probably going to be in the 40 to 50 minute range. I haven't seen The Wheel of Time, which is another fantasy show that came out this past year for Amazon, but I believe that was around 40, 50-ish minutes per episode. So I feel like that, because with how much post-production they're having to put into this, it would make sense that they're going to be long episodes, I would assume.
Yeah, for me, again, I think that we definitely need to start kick off the marketing, because September 2nd is we're 7 months away now.
Mhm.
Yeah, 7 months. So, but I do think that 23 posters on the same day. If I'd been them, I would have done 2 posters a week, and to keep people guessing, and also like figure like when, because not making clear when when it's gonna drop, and so in terms of like posts and whatnot. But like I would say this is still good PR for it, because people are talking, people are predicting, and so on. People are doing our articles, live streams, whatever, and so on. And again, like and I definitely, people who work so hard on the show should get to show off their amazing work. Like especially during the difficult time we're in right now. So I'm excited. I think again, Sauron was the only one I could recognize. I think there's a Hobbit in there, and there's one with some green wardrobe and dirty hands, and like kind of like a similar cane that they had in the original films. But I'm just ready for the trailer, and that's something I look forward to talking with you about, and our listeners, viewers. Sorry, I'm such an audio podcast, so I'm so used to listeners and talk about when it happens. We have a super chat before we get going from Scott Edwards. Thank you so much for your
Thank you so
super
much.
chat. Barry, Jefferson, Sarah, and Clark teaming up this fall. Make it happen, CW. Also, Cabal Blue coming soon? Question mark. Well, to rest your first part.
Yep.
Who wouldn't love that kind of a crossover? So we will see if it happens. Cabal Blue. Jordan is Cabal Blue. He told me last night, and he's
but
yeah. But we can talk a little more in the Q&A. But yeah, definitely, I would love to see this team up. And
nice team up.
Also Ryan Wilder, to give us some of because they need to meet each other. Like I was asking Javija last month, 2 months ago, like, so are you gonna come back and like establish how you guys know each other? And she's like, well, right now I'm working a lot. But so I'm gonna rest a little bit after the season is over, which is she's been working her ass off. But she would love to come back and start building up that relationship. So for sure. Now shall we move on, or do we want to drop our 2 exclusive posters that they didn't to round out of the 25? I mean, we have an amazing poster here. Here's poster number 24.
This is the spoiler. This is actually. When they said that Eddie Thawne's coming back, they're lying. It's actually God Digglespeed. It's a fake out.
And then poster 25 is it's Robert Pattinson. He's gonna be this is actually Sauron's final look. So
Sauron's actually Batman, guys.
But actually, on that note, because Sauron can take different forms, I bet you one of these other posters is him too. It has to be. It would be such a missed opportunity if they don't do that. Oh, we have a super chat from the fake Jake. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Thank you for the super chat. Have you 2 finished filming for season 8? I mean,
no, we haven't. No,
I'm filming my death scene tomorrow, and Jordan is. I mean, here's the thing. I mean, this is gonna go awkward. I need to put him to the side. No, I'm gonna put him to the side. So Jordan actually don't want to be in the same room as me. So we're having like a stand-in killing him. So someone who looks like him from the back who's gonna kill me. But when I come back to life, there's gonna be a stand-in for me who will go after him.
This is all true. This is all. Thank you, Fake Jake, for the super chat. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, I hope you're doing. Hope you
We
got
did-
your good results. We have been thinking about you.
Yes. Okay, guys. So we have Book of Boba Fett talk. We're about to put up an image that is a major spoiler, but then again, this episode's been out since Wednesday. Everyone's been posting spoilers. But here we go, guys. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Luke Skywalker and Ahsoka Tano is back. And in the most surprising way ever in the Book of Boba Fett. In episode 6 this past week, we also had Cad Bane, of course, from Clone Wars fame, is in live action for the first time. We don't have an image of him here, but we have. I wanted to pull this image because the significance of this image. First of all, the deep fake of Luke Skywalker is phenomenal compared to the season 2 finale of The Mandalorian, which was a de-aging CG. They hired a YouTuber who uses deepfake technology this past month, who essentially fixed, which multiple people on YouTube were fixing Luke's face in the Mandalorian season 2 finale. This guy actually got hired by Lucasfilm to work for them, and people are like, "Oh, so what exactly for?" We now know why, because they had plans for Luke, and they probably have more plans down the road for this type of technology for deepfake. Now, the question will be: is this going to replace the idea of recasting roles like they've done in Star Wars previous installments, like where they had, I forget his name, but he was cast as Han Solo in the Solo, A Star Wars Story, and they had casted him. Is this now going to mean that if Han Solo pops up in the future, it's going to be a deepfake Han Solo in the timeline whenever he appears? No idea. But in terms of that photo, what's really great about it is that Ahsoka and Luke actually know each other. It is bonkers as heck, because if you know the history of Ahsoka Tano, her history with Anakin, of course, Luke's father, them having that conversation, which was very brief, and she mentions, "You're just like your father," or "so much like your father." It was such a beautiful moment, and I wanted so much more. I wanted the whole episode to be just them talking and having conversations and revealing stuff. But I feel like that's going to come at some point down the road. It's crazy that once again, the Book of Boba Fett gives us an amazing episode. And this time, at least, Boba Fett does have a cameo in his own show. He's in it for like 30 seconds. Because in episode 5, he was not in it at all. Finnick, of course, Ming Na Wen was in episode 5 at the very end. We had one small sequence of Boba in this week's episode, and then we had Cad Bane towards the end of the show, live action debut. Fantastic, setting up that confrontation potentially between him and Boba in the finale. We will see in terms of that, but I will have to say that this honestly was one of the best things I've seen in Star Wars, is seeing Grogu, Baby Yoda again, and then him having a vision of Order 66, some Jedi defending him against clones, and then seeing, of course, Luke deepfake looking pretty much phenomenal. The voice and the facial mouth movements are not perfect, but they're definitely way better than they were before in terms of comparison to Mandalorian season 2, and Ahsoka being there as well, and then Cad Bane. I mean, it was just a phenomenal episode. It was so good. But yeah,
Seems to be a lot of cameos in the show.
I know it literally went from Book of Boba Fett, the first 4 episodes with no cameos per se, to episode 5, Mando taking over the whole thing, and then this episode cameo. And but things too, they weren't actually cameos. Luke was in the majority of the episode, and you saw him the majority of the episode with his face deep faked. It was so awesome, and they pulled it off very well.
You know, because I mean, again, I haven't watched the Star Wars shows. I will at some point, but it seems like there needs to be a show for Star Wars that is like an anthology every season, where like, so that, because I feel it's a little misleading, calling it the Book of Boba Fett and then hearing so much about like how he's like Boba is barely in it. Yeah. Like that's a little problematic to me, where I'm like, why don't you just do an anthology where like one season can be about could be about Luke, one season could be about this other character and this other character and this other character, and I mean, again, still having cameos, that's still great, but it's like I shouldn't be hearing more about Luke and other characters have been cameoing this season. And then here again, because I thought people were joking when they said that Boba's not even in episode 5. I'm like, well, I mean, no, he's like in like what 20 minutes, and he's not in it at all. I'm like,
not at all.
And when people were like, "Oh my god, like there's this episode of Fly where Grant is barely in it," well, at least he shows up for at least a couple of minutes. And he doesn't get the Boba treatment. I said what I said. Deal with that.
Sure
And you
did.
guys, you can go watch Chainsaw's reaction to that on this channel. Not
Well,
right now, but go after this. You watch the stream,
yeah,
but it's up there.
I was filming that at 4:30 in the morning. I was tired, but I was so excited.
Well, now it's my turn, and because I know you don't keep up with that show that much, so on, but it's fine. And for once, I'm actually really excited to bring this up. So, for all your
Yes.
Legends fans, I see you, I hear you, and I'm here to represent you because we have some huge discussion to do. Donald Faison from Scrubs, from Mother
Yes.
effing Scrubs, is joining the Arrowverse. He's been cast to appear in the season 7 finale in a mystery role. If season 8 gets picked up, which it has not yet, his mystery character will be back for next season. And here's the thing: who's this fella in the middle? People can't see that I'm actually pointing at it, so never mind. Why am I even doing it when the picture is up? The description I'm about to read you sounds insanely a lot like Booster Gold. So let me just take a sip, just clear my throat.
I just now noticed in the description a certain word they use early on. I just
We don't spoil it. We're going there. So red, yellow letter. Okay. The Legends first encountered this character at a different phase of his career, whose golden years are the rearview mirror. He's a good guy deep down. His ego is looking for a boost that only fame, fortune, and glory can provide. While he
God,
claims to have been recruited to work for a mysterious time organization, he wasn't offered much of a choice in the matter. As an unauthorized time traveler with high-profile aspirations, he develops a mischievous streak and cuts a few corners along the way to achieving his dreams. He knows all about the Legends of Tomorrow and finds them inspiring because they're the kind of heroes who started at the ground floor, as opposed to inheriting their powers from an alien planet, a spider bite, or wealthy parents. A lot of shade there going on. But the
yes.
big question is whether his respect for the team is going to be able to help the Legends out of hot water or get him into hotter water.
I didn't see the
This
second.
is This is the firstiest description for any like mystery character I have ever read in my entire life. If this does not end up being Booster, I'm dropping the show. I will be done.
I just want to point out I saw the golden years, and that's what mixed it up. But when you said boost for a boost, I'm like, oh my god, guys, they're making it so obvious. But they're like, we don't know who he is. We all know. Come on.
Yeah,
Oh
I Well, it's funny because I shouldn't be saying that. Never mind.
Thing.
What?
Don't spill anything.
I know. I don't want to get in trouble with legal. Did you watch Scrubs? Did you grow up with Scrubs?
Love Scrubs. It's an amazing show. And I'm so happy that he's getting this opportunity, even though I don't watch the show. It's exciting that he's going to be appearing potentially as Booster Gold because it's a character that people have been mentioning for years in terms of Arrowverse potentials of who they could pop up. And the fact that he might be playing Booster Gold is crazy. But in terms of what he did on Scrubs, I think it fits. It fits with part of what he did on Scrubs in terms of Turk.
You know what's funny? Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Essentially, it's like he's like a calmer version of Booster on Scrubs. And JD is totally a Skeet. It's like a chaotic Skeet. Yes, Mr. Fernando, you are late. I'm kidding.
Very late.
Here's what I will say. You know what's so cute about this is that the same day they announced the casting, guess who showed up on Batwoman?
Who did?
Carla from Scrubs. Turk and Carla in the Arrowverse.
Right. She's a Batwoman?
Yeah, she was. She's introduced as like this former villain who used to help the Joker make like some of his gadgets and so on. And she was great. She was wonderful. As
I gotta see that now. Dang it. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, she's an amazing actress, and she's worked with the CW many times. So, but yeah, I was kind of like, oh, my little Tarla shipper heart is just going off the rails. Yeah, Scrubs was a medical show, also a comedy.
It's more of a comedy than medical. But I mean, it has some dramatic moments, but let's be honest, the comedy made that show what it is.
Yeah. Season 9, not so much. No, don't worry. We're not going anywhere yet. We have still, we're gonna do Q&A in a bit. But I'm really hoping so much that this is going to be boosted because one, I think that Donald, again, he's such a phenomenal actor. He does comedy so well. And I think he can also play Michael John Carter's human side very, very well, because that's the thing. At the end of the day, like Booster is a very shallow character, depending on who the writer is. But if the right writer has him and the guys to tackle him, there's some really good stuff that can be shown from an emotional side. And we even saw it on Smallville. You know, he was introduced in the final season, and that was like, I wasn't expecting it to be so good, but here's the thing. The thing that is always worrisome with me with Legends is because they're not too concerned about using DC characters. You know, they kind of moved away from that. Which again, it's great when they can create their own original stuff and so on. But at the same time, it's like I've missed seeing some more DC influence in the show for quite some time, and I think Booster would be such a good fit on the show. And maybe they do a spinoff for him or whatever. You know, I know that several years ago they were trying to do a Booster Gold TV show on Sci-Fi, but as we all know, Sci-Fi is garbage and don't give us anything, and we shouldn't trust them with DC properties. # rest in peace Krypton. But yeah, I think, and again, I'm just so surprised that because he's appearing in the finale and they've already wrapped, so the fact that no one really spotted him. I mean, like Canographs, where you at? They hanging with the alligators in the bayou, maybe. But yeah, if this happens, like I will get really excited because I haven't really been feeling season 7 that much, and so I really hope that this happens and that we can go into next season, if there's a next season, with a bit of Booster Gold, and also, and I want Skeets. Definitely, he has to be there.
Yeah, we'll see.
Will this make you maybe watch the show if Booster shows up?
I'll probably watch a clip online if he's revealed to be Booster Gold. I'll watch a clip because I do like the actor, of course, Donald Faison, but I can't watch the show. But
wait a minute. Wait, stop. Zach Braff as Skeets. Listen, wait, hold on. Stay with me. My people, listen to me. You don't imagine Zach Braff as this annoying, know-it-all, floating little computer, golden ball, whatever you want to call it. That's just comedy genius in itself.
It would be a smart.
And he wouldn't have to fly to Vancouver or anything, so that would probably be easier to pull off. And also because like that, I mean, like for me, guys, you don't understand. Like, JD and Turk were one of the first and most influential male relationship I ever saw on TV, where it wasn't the typical macho, ultra masculine relationship. It was, it showed us different sides of masculinity, and they were always, so supportive. They went through the rough patches like best friends do, but it was one of the, like, as I was growing up, it was a key relationship for me that I carried with me as I formed my own relationship with, other men, but also, with people in general. But so, if I can somehow get Zach Braff on Legends as Skeets, I'm gonna pass out, and I might just be like, Jordan, you don't have to do reaction videos. I will do reaction videos for you for Legends on your channel. No, I will do no editing. You don't do anything. Take whatever. I would just want to watch. I just want people to see me react to Donald Faison show up, possibly in an amazing blue and gold suit, and so yeah, the season finale of Legends Tomorrow will air on Wednesday, March 2nd, right after, followed with the season of Batwoman season 3, and then we're back to the Flash, y'all. So, but those are our main topics for.
Yes.
So let's do. We have, since we didn't go on for as long, we can do a lot more Q&A. So I'm gonna scroll back to the chat because I saw some good questions that I just.
We do have to put up the live question time, everybody.
And let's see.
Of course, guys, we will of course be looking and finding some really interesting questions, and also super chats supporting the show will of course be read on the stream. We thank you guys for being here, for supporting.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Here's Rooney says, Armor Wars is set to film this September, apparently announced yesterday, kind of. How are you feeling for Armor Wars? Because I've never been a huge War Machine fan.
I'm interested to see what they do with it. I'm surprised they're giving him his own series, but at the same time, Don Cheadle has not really done a lot in the MCU in terms of his, like, he's appeared and he's had some great one-liners, but let's be honest, he hasn't really done a lot. So this gives him an opportunity to kind of explore more of Rhodey. Besides, like, we've seen that connection with Stark and everything, but it'd be interesting to see what Rhodey is outside of the connection.
Yeah, on his own. Apparently Obi-Wan Kenobi is coming out in May.
Yeah, it's been rumored for a bit. Fake Check has a pretty good question here about
Huh?
which villain do you think was better with the short amount of episodes they were given, Bloodwork or Despero? I think just based on how they handled it, I think the Despero stuff was not necessarily about Despero fully. It was more about the event Armageddon itself and what threat the Despero first pulled, but then it ultimately became about Joe's death and Reverse Flash. So ultimately, I think Bloodwork was a better, because Bloodwork actually was the focus of his arc. Like Despero was
Yeah.
there, but he wasn't the main focus.
And I know that was, I mean, and also Salem Murphy, I think he got better material to work with. And I know that that storyline was that whole arc was very personal to Eric. I'm not gonna get into it here, but you guys can go listen to my interview I did with him, and he talked about, why those first eight episodes before Crisis was instrumental to him. But and also because I was also surprised that they took someone that was kind of a newer villain from the Flash comics, who also it has been a lot of issues, and they really fleshed him out in a very compelling way, but also showing you that, hey, sometimes 5, 6, 7, 8 episodes for one villain is enough. I think that I was surprised by how little we got this Despero, but I think what we got with him was good. And also Tony Kern, he's such a great act. I mean, I'm still getting feels from when he was on Doctor Who as Vincent Van Gogh. Again, everyone who watches Doctor Who and has seen an episode, you know exactly which scene I'm talking about. So there we go. Anthony wants to know, are you mad that Superman Lois went on break?
I mean, I'm upset because I love the show so much and what they're doing, but at the same time, they need to take breaks in terms of, because it'd be great each week we got a new episode of the show, but at the same time, scheduling's an issue.
Also, Olympics is the reason this time, right?
Yeah, and thankfully it's because of that, not because they had to shut down or anything and they have to slow down. Because during season 1 they had times where they had to take breaks because of the fact that their production,
that someone tested positive.
That, but also their post-production wasn't ready for certain episodes, so they had to slow the release so that they can get them out properly.
Do you remember that episode? I think it was episode 13 or 14, where there was a frame where it says it says in text VFX shot.
Yeah, I never saw that.
It was, I couldn't stop laughing.
It was the live version because I saw it the day after. When I watched season 1, I watched it the day after on the app, so they fixed it. But Julian has to go about this.
Okay.
About Armor Wars. He needs the visualization of boom. You looking for this story? Okay. Because Age of Ultron, he does boom. You looking for this? And the whole crowd gather around him, laughs at that line, and he's telling a story. So Julian basically wants Armor Wars to show what exactly that story is. What he dropped. Boom. You looking for this? And
I found Push from Hero's Journey. This is from me. Okay. Just curious. That's all. Chainsaw's flaw is that he's too nice, which makes him naive a lot. Andy, what is your flaw? Sorry if you don't like my question. No, I don't. I mean,
naive? How much? Okay, first of all, you really don't know me because I'm an asshole. What do you mean I'm naive and I'm nice? What are you talking about?
I mean, being naive isn't a bad thing always. So and I think I think this is coming from a positive place. But my flaw, I think that I sometimes react with a lot of emotions, which again, I think that human emotions is both a strength and also a weakness, and that it's very complex to play with. But I think that sometimes both professionally and even personally, I can have a strong reaction to something and then have to someone had to point out to me where I have to come to my own, figure out on my own, hey, let's take a step back, that maybe this doesn't work as well as I'd hoped. There was something this week that I was gonna say, I was really upset with someone, and started writing something, but I'm like, wait, hold on, let's pump the brakes. But I also think another flaw is that I get sometimes I do compare myself a little bit too much to others. For example, with journalism. I mean, I've been doing this since I was literally 17 years old, still in high school, literally using my classes, writing articles. My grades were fine. Don't worry, I did graduate, believe it or not. So, but I think that's something I'm like, oh, I wish I could do this. I wish I could do that or whatever. So, but I think those are my two biggest flaws. but no, it's a great question. Hero's journey, especially if you don't know me as well. So I'm sure a lot of you guys who are watching right are not familiar with me. So if there's something you want to ask me just to get to know me better, since I'm gonna be here every Friday now with Jordan, then go for it.
Definitely. I found two questions. I was actually going to bring this up first, but I'll bring that up second because I want to bring up Fake Jake. Super chat. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Jake.
Thanks for thinking of me, guys. Long story short, I'm okay, but it's likely I'm still going to have to end up getting the surgery. Well, I'm. It's good that your test came back. Well, I mean, because you're saying I'm surgery, but you're okay. So it sounds like your test went better than because we were hoping for the best. Because I know you're going for that scan. So I'm glad that that's good, but it's unfortunate to go for the surgery. But I mean, if you're okay, then that means it probably won't be as bad in terms of your surgery. But of course, keep us updated when that comes up because we want to keep our thoughts on you and all that. I mean, it scares me. I had surgery, but of course, mine wasn't like anything major, but I was freaking out. But it was just a simple little procedure. But I had to be put out with what do they call it? That gas? I forget what they call it. But it was scary. It's a scary thing to go on. It's scary to go to hospital in general. So, but please keep us updated on that, Fake Jake. We really appreciate you and
definitely
we hope for the best for you, sir. We really do.
And thank you for the super chats.
Thank you. So, Amazing Webhead, I like this question from Madam Web. Mm-hmm. How do you feel? How do you feel if Sony will use her to bring in more crossovers for the MCU or other Spider people? Thinking of how Tom Holland can appear in a Sony film, I think this is probably what they're probably going to end up doing. Is the fact that Madam Web is going to be able to pull different people because that's what she did within the animated series from the 90s. She was pulling different iterations of characters into basically her little area within the multiverse, her little domain. And so I feel like she could probably pull Tom Holland Spider-Man, pull in Andrew, Toby, or whatever. Like there's many possibilities once you introduce Madam Web. The thing is, we know she's out there because the multiverse is real. So we know that she's out there, but the fact is they're actually going to be covering her. And I'm telling you right now, with Sony wanting to do Madam Web and they cast Dakota Johnson, they're in talks with MCU in terms of what they can and can't do and how they're going to connect all these things. Because once you connect Toby and Andrew's Spider-Man, their films are now intertwined, of course, with the villains as well. So it's all connected. So Sony and Marvel are basically doubling down on their working together with all this. So it's exciting.
I think that given that they're going for someone really huge actor like Dakota Johnson, like they're definitely she's gonna have to play some sort of big role across several films, and I think the first movie will focus a lot on establishing who she is because the thing is I don't want her to just be a vehicle. Like I want her to be able to stand as her own character. But I have a quick question from Charlie who says,
"Sorry, where's that?
If the this one. If the next crossover has the League versus a new Legion of Doom, what villains would you have on the team that are from Earth Prime and Earth 2? Ooh, that's a great question, Charlie. It's kind of like Crisis on Two Earths, or like when JSA and the Justice League when they first met each other in the first crossovers they did, like in the Silver Age. It sounds like kind of what you're proposing. Who would you put on the Legion of Doom, Jordan?
Well,
let's take 5 villains each.
Okay, so 5 villains for Legion of Doom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Earth Prime and Earth 2.
Exactly, both of them. You can take anyone.
Can we say alive or dead, or it has to be alive?
Let's challenge ourselves and see if with the alive one, with the living ones.
Okay. That's gonna be interesting. I would say villains. I would probably pull Reverse Flash. You got to pull Reverse Flash. Now we're getting to the terror because I'm trying to think who's dead and who's alive at this point. Man, this is difficult.
I can go with one. I would say this would be the opportunity to bring Despero back because he always said in Armageddon that this is not the last you've seen of me. And what other better way to bring him back and really go for revenge for the Flash by finding villains across Earth Prime and the multiverse. So
yeah, Okay. That's broken. I think that. Oh, see, I would like to go with. See, I would have said Brainwave, but he's dead. You know, I was just because I was thinking, I really like his character in Stargirl.
Yeah.
Um,
Like none of the villains in Star Wars has actually been bad. Like all of them have been like really solid. Because I would love to see Icicle back, which I think there's ways they could find of bringing him back. I mean, like water. I mean, melted water has to go somewhere. If you're a metahuman, maybe
yeah,
I mean, I'm just saying.
just
I'm
saying,
just saying.
just saying.
You know what? I will say Icicle because I think he's alive. I blood work would be cool too.
Just thinking blood work. I was just thinking blood work.
We're sharing the same brain cell. Fernando, no.
Oh
Just
no,
no to all of them.
this is the list I go with. Walter. Walter.
Walter was not even evil.
You don't know. He's probably pulling strings behind the scenes. You never know.
He literally gave Oliver money, like a bank loan, and
One who went to the Queen's Gambit and like drove a sickle into the side of it.
you know what? Actually, you know what? We can put Walter Hamada in the lead of Doom. Oh God,
he is. Mark Hamill Stricter's still alive. Yes, it is. Yes. But I assume you said about Godspeed. We already have a speedster though, fake Jake.
But here's the thing. I also think that Godspeed, I would actually rather leave him off and go with the arc in the comics where they actually turn him into an anti-hero.
Okay.
Do
you think the show will do that though? Do you think the show could pull that off?
I think there's a reason the finale ended with him specifically at Argus.
Okay. That makes sense.
I'm sick of Argus, but whatever. Julie,
trust me. Walter. Poor Walter.
Julian, before I even got to the Legends thing, did you get your file? Okay, so first I will say this so that everyone understands this. The booster gold thing, it's not a rumor. It's what everyone is speculating right now. But there's a reason they gave us a very extensive character breakdown. And again, those words, again, I have never seen any of these any comic book show that has done like a mystery character but given out a description be so damn thirsty and just so like we want to make this perfectly clear without being perfectly clear. So there's not a oh my god, no. You have awakened me. That's my photo. I didn't give you permission to use that, so I'm kidding.
Comic TV is asking how we're doing. We're both doing good. Thank you.
We're alive, so that's something.
Oh no, fake Jake. No. He gave Oliver a bank loan but didn't show up at his funeral. True villain. Oh god.
Did Oliver pay him back?
Oh, that's true. So Oliver's the villain.
Oliver was always the villain of Arrow.
Thank you for the question, Liam. How do you feel about Speedy or Arsenal in Titan season 4? I feel Roy Harper makes more sense than Speedy in Titan season 4 because they have mentioned Roy Harper. He's been name dropped a few times.
I think it could be fun if we got Mia Queen. Mia Dearden. Sorry, Mia Queen is the name I've heard like for months now. But I think that Roy is probably who they're going to introduce at some point. I know it's not going to happen unless they decide to do on this earth, he also just happens to look like Colton Haynes. Because I think Colton was, because listen, Roy Harper is one of my favorite DC characters of all time. And like when they said that he was going to come to Arrow, I was always a little bit nervous, but they cast Colton Haynes and like he looks so much like Roy from the comic. He embodied so much of what I love about some of my favorite Roy stories from the comics. So, and I think that honestly, he never got the opportunity to do more that I knew he could. So I think if he showed up on Titans in season 4, and I think he and Connor Leslie would be they had great chemistry together. So that's what I would go with. We have a question from Jon Snow Rule. This, I think for you maybe. I'm not going to watch Gotham Knight because it makes no sense to create a show when we have a game light that's coming out, right?
Yeah, the thing is too, the naming, they need to change the name. The name needs to change because the connection just doesn't make sense. Because it's not connected at all, but they're making it seem like it could be because it's the same name. So I don't like that at all. I don't like that.
Are there any other Gotham teams in the? I mean, I don't know the Outsiders, but I think they're a little bit all over the DC universe.
Yeah, Outsiders is like its own separate thing in terms of the characters involved. I really hope they come up with a different name, or I don't know. They just. I feel like all the names pretty much taken in terms of in Gotham Knights. There's a game called Gotham Knights, so they I hope they workshop that. I do want to bring this up. Well, are you excited for the possibilities of DC shows that tie in the movies? I mean, I don't think so per se.
And you love Peacemaker.
But what I was actually going to bring up, because the chat scrolled up, but I don't know if it's going to tie. I mean, the only tie-in you'll probably see is Grant's Flash on Ezra's Flash movie. Other than that, there's no connection.
Oh, I thought he was talking about the HBO Max shows.
Well, I mean, I think it's about DC TV that covers anything in general. I don't know. I mean, the Batwoman movie is not a series, so in terms of the TV shows connecting, I mean, yeah, Peacemaker, of course, is tied in the film.
Batwoman. What Batwoman movie?
Batgirl. I meant Batgirl.
Batgirl. Sorry.
Long day.
Oh my god, this is hilarious. Reza was also pretty evil, I think. No, you leave Reza alone.
She was.
Fernando. How did you show up late first and then you're going after my girl like that?
So Charlie says he would say Reverse Flash, Despero, Eclipso, Bloodwork, and Clayface. I like how people are now putting Clayface because now he's canon to the Arrowverse now. I'm curious to see how he's going to look in the thing.
Didn't Eclipso die?
Yeah, but I you know, I don't know.
Triple X has a.
What were you gonna say?
Triple X has a lineup. My top 5 villains: Prometheus, Deathstroke, Zoom, Icicle, and Bloodwork. Good
choices. Personally, Deathstroke's not really a villain anymore, but I get your point. If this is pre-Miracle coming off, Amazing Webhead. Someone else had asked this, but I'll bring your question up. Amazing Webhead. It was brutal. It was brutal to watch the final episode. I wasn't prepared for it. It would really emotionally hurt me. But yeah, just I can't wait to put the video's gonna be long. I'm telling you guys right now, the video's gonna be long because I have a lot of footage to show. I'm gonna try my best to get it past, but
yeah. You are my creator. I ain't getting any children, so I'm not gonna. That's true. Yeah, keep rolling up.
So guys, we're gonna be on for just a few more minutes, and we're going to call it an evening.
How about we round it up to we do 10 more minutes and then we go off.
Okay, we'll do about 10 more minutes, and we're gonna call it.
I'm gonna go back to top of the chat and see if I find anything. But again, guys, thank you so much. And that's
a good point. Eclipso's toast, because Charlie says, well, he did turn into toast.
Oh my god! Wow, I forgot about that.
I forgot too.
Here's a question from Aaron back at the top of the show. Should Pixar make a Spider-Man movie? Then Pixar and Sony has to make a deal. But I like the animation that Sony has found for the Spider-Verse. I'm like, do we need one?
No, we don't need it because I mean they've already done, like you said, such amazing work with the not Spectacular Spider-Man, but the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and then what they've already shown from Across the Spider-Verse Part 1. I mean, it looks like they're going even crazier with the animation. So, 3-hour chainsaw video confirmed. No.
Release the chainsaw cut.
Oh god! Hashtag release the chainsaw cut.
Let's see. Hero's Journey asked me before. Shane, you said you watched freaking original. How the hell is this worse?
He's referring to Gotham Knights. The originals was a great show. Gotham Knights is probably not going to be a good show. Also, we haven't seen it, but I'm just saying based off of the originals had its issues, but let's be clear here. The originals is really, really a fun ride, and there's some crazy reveals, and I'm so glad I got into that show.
This is the point I didn't think of. Spoiler: Orphan and Damien are all children of villains.
Damien's the son of Talia. Orphan's the daughter of Lady Shiva.
Yeah. Spoiler is Clue Master's daughter, who she was on Batwoman last season. So, if they do it like this and not just some Joker Jr. or whatever, and so
if they were to pull off a spoiler, Orphan and Damien, it turns out he actually is the real son, but he was told he's adopted by Bruce, but he actually is. Because I mean, okay, here's what they could do. Damien, if it's the Bruce Wayne's adopted son thing, he knows his mother, Talia, but then some guy adopts him, or the implication is that he's adopted by Bruce Wayne, but then he finds out that he's actually related to him. Then
that could work. I didn't think about it that way.
An orphan, I mean, yes, but the way it's worded, it feels like the daughter of Riddler or whatever, or the son of Penguin. Like, it just sounds like really ridiculous crap. But if they were to do something like that, ooh,
Oh, I can wait.
Chance for them to do Joker's daughter, Julia Dent.
You mean Duella?
Duella, whatever. I know what.
Yeah. No, well, I mean, she wasn't. Fernando, she wasn't Batwoman, so like they sort of, but he could maybe now redo her a little bit.
It's multiverse. So
look at this. Isn't the Hall of Famer supposed to be playing Professor Utopian as well? See, well, yeah. If he's doing this, it probably gives you a good idea of what is happening with that pilot.
That's all we'll say.
The fake Jake says Blue Beetle on Legend will be another welcome DC representative. We're not going to get Blue Beetle as long as they're doing a Jaime Reyes movie. We could see Ted Kord, but at this point, they would have done it years ago.
For years, we've been hearing that they were like people wanted Booster Gold and Blue Beetle. So, no, we're not getting, unfortunately, but we're getting another version, of course, of Blue Beetle in the films, theatrical and HBO Max.
With your boy from Cobra Kai.
Yeah, but
when they started fan casting him, like, were you like, I could see this?
I hadn't heard much of it until he was at that premiere, and then the next day it was announced he was playing Blue Beetle, but I didn't hear really much of it.
Did you hear that Rich was like, "Hey, about God on Legends this week? I quit the show in season 5." LOL. I mean, this is my issue I have with Legends. Something that they sometimes take these other characters from that show. Like, they always pretend that they're like, "Oh, well, we're too good for the Arrowverse, so we're just not gonna we're not gonna do the cross. So we're not gonna the characters literally say, we're not gonna do crossovers again." Which, if I was in a TV show, I wouldn't know what the hell is a crossover. Like, we're real people. Like, they wouldn't know that they're on a TV show. But whenever they do take characters from other shows and put them on Legends, 9 out of 10 times they mess them up for the worst. Where I'm just like, this is like that's why I was kind of like okay for the first couple of years, but they didn't do any more DC characters because I'm like just let them make their own. But yeah, I haven't seen this week's stuff. I did see last week, and when he showed up towards the end, but it's very confusing that he's showing up, and I'm almost guessing that they're not even acknowledging that he was just an Armageddon because it's like it's confusing. Jake says Gotham State of Sirens. I mean, that's an empty question. I'm not in a meme, but I'm like, yeah. I mean, would I love to see a movie? Sure. A TV show? Sure.
That's the name of Gotham Knights, because he said that question he said that comment in around time we were talking about Gotham Knights being a name change.
How do you feel about the Vigilante from Justice League Unlimited or Vigilante from Arrow? The
Vigilante was
messy.
That's a good word for it. But yeah, I know that Vigilantes, of course, in Peacemaker, we're not talking about that.
I will say he is kind of funny though. I will say that.
Ted Kord was rumored back in Arrow season 2. He sure was. They kept bringing up Kord Industries, so yeah, he was rumored for so long. Tickle Godspeed. Thank you, God Tickle Speed.
What do you think is better, Daredevil movie or Hulk 2003? Daredevil, if it's the extended cut. Yeah.
But if it's the original cut, Hulk 2003. This still a bad movie, but still. God Tickle Speed has to go. But every time I run, I will think of you throwing up, just so you know, you created the best villain in the Arrowverse. We sure did.
Sure did. Comic TV asks, do you think we could ever see Damian Wayne in the Arrowverse? I mean, Talia's in the Arrowverse. It would be cool since I highly doubt he will be in Titans or in the movies. Well, that's it. We think that's who they're introducing on Gotham Knights, but it wouldn't be like the same Talia from Earth Prime. It would, they would have to create someone new then. And
I was saying too that if they were to ever introduce Damian Wayne on Batwoman, back when I was thinking more theories about that show, it would make sense because Talia was MIA for a while in terms of the timelines. So, and we know Bruce Wayne exists, so technically Damian Wayne could be out there somewhere. But I think at this point we're never going to see him.
They didn't get invited elsewhere because their current 4th season was so horrible. I liked season 4 because that's when we got a lot of Constantine. Let's see.
He popped up, yeah.
If they call the Gotham City, if they call the Gotham Heroes for the show Gotham City, then I would imagine they would have to do the children of Harley, Poison Ivy, and Catwoman. I don't know. Well, they are. It's a rebellious son.
Yeah.
So again, I think it's fair to keep be reserved about the show, but I think that who knows? They could do something amazing with it, but I have no idea.
Yes. Julian has a good point about here. Wasn't Brandon Routh up for Ted Cord, then had to swap for Ray? I don't know if that's the case because see, they wanted Ted Cord and then they were told no. And then they asked for Ray Palmer and they were approved for that. And I don't know if at this point Brandon Routh was in discussion to appear in the Arrowverse in terms of playing this character. But I'm assuming they first have to get the character rights for Ted or Ray. And then when they got the approval, that's when they started going for actors. Character rights first. I'm guessing you know information on this.
Just do a Google search.
Oh, Google search. There you go. Okay, guys, we'll be answering a few more questions and we're going to be wrapping it up here. Let's see. Liam. So Liam says 1974 Supergirl. Jake's referring to it says 84. Have we seen the 84 Supergirl movie? Of course, with Helen Slater as Supergirl. Yes, and I don't recommend it, but that's just me.
The only thing that's fun to watch in that movie is Helen Slater like doing the best she can with the horrible script she got. But like, she was not the problem. I think she was great, and I think it's cool that she got to be on Supergirl. Yes, I would love a Gotham season 6 on HBO Max.
I think that we should do a Gotham centric discussion on.
I would love that. I love that show. I defended that show all the time because people always kept trashing. I'm like, no, this is amazing. Super chat. We have a super chat from Victor.
Oh,
because we keep playing at the same time.
I'm late to replay, I guess. Do you think after Flash movie will DC do individual heroes thmovies?
They're doing already.
Yeah, so they're doing separate films. Of course, the Batman is not connected. I feel with the Flash film, it's opening up the floodgates essentially of multiversal films that could carry on to say like they could, like it's been rumored for a while that the Supergirl we're getting in the Flash will get her own film. So I think it's more of like introducing us to multiverse versions of characters and potentially bringing back actors who've played the character previously, and we get to see them in some sort of capacity within this multiverse film and setting up potential other spinoffs. Not saying that everything we're going to be seeing is connected, but you never know. Oh my gosh. Another super chat.
Jake, thank you.
Thank you so much. If Reverse Flash is real, let's see if he can prevent me from finishing. Oh, finishing that and then cut it off.
Oh, wow. That is the cutest and most generous super chat. Like,
I'm not going to clap too close to it. That was fucking amazing. Thank you. Because I really thought you fucked up, Fake Jake, for that.
Yeah, I really thought that too. Hey, for the final question, I think, pick one movie to have it come out: Endgame or No Way Home. By Endgame, I'd rather have No Way Home.
Okay, I get you. I cannot pick. I can't.
Then let me pick for you. He picks Endgame. So, guys, thank you so much.
They're both amazing for their own rights. I can't.
John, if that happens, I will get so triggered.
Oh my gosh. Another super chat. Amazing webhead.
They don't want us to go. They don't want us to go.
But so thank you for the super chat. So the Batman prequel novel confirmed Metropolis. Okay. Because we are getting the Batman, we're getting, of course, contents running. I mean, it makes sense Metropolis because I think there's like a costume party or something.
I know what this is.
And there's a Wonder Woman, there's a Superman.
And there is if you look, I think I may have written about it last year, but there was a couple of newspapers floating around from the set, like from a Gotham Gazette or something that talks about Metropolis and about this, there's this bus accident, but the kids they look up and they see him and they flying away and so on. So yeah, there's a Superman in this world. We just don't know which one it is. I think it could be kind of cool if it was like Michael B. Jordan's, that project they're doing or something.
They did say this is Earth 2.
That was Hollywood Reporter, I think, generalizing it. So
if it is, excuse me, if it is Earth 2 or something, I feel that'd be really cool to switch it up, because if this is its own separate thing outside of the norm because this Batman, they could have found a way to potentially retcon it into the original, DC Earth in terms of Ezra Miller's Flash, but they're not. They're having it be completely separate. So that means they can do whatever they want.
Yeah, so I think they could have Al-Zod on that Earth, or maybe this new. Well, I guess the new Superman reboot they're doing is taking place in the 20th century. So there's that. Well, Jake, thank you. Keep us in the loop. We definitely want to hear how it's
Final
going for
thing
you.
we'll bring up here, Fake Jake, of course, is going for a surgery late this month. Everybody, please keep Fake Jake in your thoughts. We want to thank you guys so much for being here. And Fake Jake, please keep us updated on that. We want to thank everybody who has supported the Endless Multiverse for being here, for being a part of the stream. It was really great to talk to you guys and to just have these conversations. Of course, we are still running around at the hour and 30-minute runtime. We're going to maybe try to figure out a way to get through the topics quicker, because I feel like getting to your comments is obviously the big thing here. But at the same time, I like the format. I like that we're able to cover a variety of things and have a discussion and then talking to you guys. It's been great. Thank you, Andy, for being here. Thank you for setting all this up, your notes and your images. Very well done.
I mean, you're the I think you're being lit. So I mean, I think you're a bit too nice now. I mean, no, but I mean, I said to him last week that because I mostly done podcasts and so on. So I usually work in my own corner and so on. But to be invited to be part of this channel and get to do the show every week, and we may have some other ideas that we're discussing. We're not gonna spoil them yet. So but again, I appreciate being hey, I mean, just creating a couple of pictures and just writing a Google Doc. Like, I mean, it's a team effort. So
we are helping build the show. We're helping build the show into something, and people are comparing us to John Campia's show in terms of us covering topics. Look, if you guys want to see us that way, we're trying to build a show here. We're trying to have fun.
I don't think I can leak any pictures where I'm going to ask my viewers to.
No, don't leak any pictures. But we're just here to have fun, guys. We're here to talk about what you guys want to talk about. We're going to cover topics, of course. We're just going to have a good time. It's going to be fun.
And remember, if you throughout the week, as we're like kind of we always like keep an eye on the news. So if there's some things that you want us to try and cover, tweet at Chainsaw Reacts and
or tweet Andy.
Or tweet both of us, because there's no Endless Multiverse without either of us. So if one is gone, I'm the other one is too, so on. So so tweet us and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you know when we go live. Well, thank you. I'm gonna clap too loud, but so we'll be back next Friday. And
here next Friday, guys. We can't wait to talk to you. It's gonna be fun. So that'll be it, guys. I hope you guys are doing well. Stay safe, and we will see you guys next Friday with In This Multiverse number 3. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Gracie.